All right. Thanks. Yeah. So basically, I've decided to divide this session into two parts. One would be the front end side of it, which ICF and the team would be working on, and the later part would be the back end side of it, which mostly Graham and Benjamin would need to work on for setting the roles and responsibilities, etc. So that I've divided it so that like if ICF like all the team members from ICF wants to kind of leave the call at the later stage of later part of it, so that at least you have the front end part where you can start with the assessment, because back end side of it I don't think so ICF would require much knowledge about in that area. So but yeah, that you all can decide whether you want to stay with the call or not. Okay, so like I'll start with the call, like start with the session. So I'll just share my screen. So, okay, okay. So I'll just first go through a regular process that all the ICF team members would be going through when they are kind of analyzing or assessing a company. Okay, so first, like there would be username and password would be provided to each one of you. You would be basically acting as administrators, but not a complete administrator rights would be given, but a response administrator, so that you can do the necessary assessments and the data collection that is planned for. So I'll just start with signing. So as soon as I sign in, okay, the first screen that I'll see is this manage participant screen. Okay, so participants, when it comes to Probench, they what we are doing here, there will be list of companies there. Okay, so currently you would be seeing some test companies that we have created for testing purposes. But yeah, you will be seeing the actual companies, the list of actual companies. You can search for the companies from here as well. So I'll just okay. So as soon as you search, you get this company's name, and then so this you will search for the company which you are assessing. Okay, so once you have searched for the company, the next thing that you will do is you will click on this person icon here, okay, which says login as this participant. So because you are an administrator and you are collecting data for a particular company, you are basically impersonating yourself as a user of that company. Okay, so when you click on this, it would take you to a survey page. Okay, and here there will be list of the survey that is currently, like we are talking about, NA 100 2024. So when I click on the survey, it would take me to a page called as overview page. Okay, so overview page, this would be displaying. Just hold on. Yeah. Yeah, so these are the list of all the indicators based on the methodology that probably would have shared with you. And this, when you click on individual indicators, you will be taken to a page where you can answer those indicators. And here you will be seeing the statuses, that is completed, flagged, not started, all those statuses you will be seeing. So you will be getting all that information from here, whether a particular indicator is left to be answered or flagged for some reason. So all those information would be provided. So I'll just go to one of these indicators, that's indicator 2. Okay, so now I'm able to see this indicator 2. Here you can see the indicator, sub indicator, and the metric, and the assessment criteria is also being displayed here. Okay, and then based on whatever
I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry
sorry,
to
yeah.
interrupt, but I just have a colleague in the waiting room. Is it possible
Oh,
to
sorry.
let him
Yeah,
in?
yeah. I
Thanks.
can just a moment. Yeah, I've got him in. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So here the assessments is done. So yeah, based on the assessment criteria, you can select yes or no. Okay, and then also based on this would be the source. So it would be some document that you would be adding uh, to the source. And the documents can be of two types here. One is the choose file, so you can directly attach a PDF or an image or a Word document or whatever file that you have when it comes to source based on what you have done the assessment. Or you can add a URL, maybe directly link to a PDF document, or maybe link to a particular web page on the website of that particular company. So that can be added. You can add the file name, description, etc. Okay, so file name can be based on what you want to denote that particular thing, and the page numbers here. If it's a PDF document, and on a PDF document there is a certain page number that you want to have, then there will be this page numbers. And I think there is also a request from Graham and team, like there would be some additional information needed here on for each individual files. So that information would be like those fields would be displayed when we actually go live. So those fields you will be able to add more information like snippets, what particular snippet and all those things. And you have to make one thing sure, like when you update a URL or upload a URL, it would directly take a snapshot, okay, and convert that URL or a web page into a PDF document. Okay. Now uh, basically that is for the purpose, like if in future if the web page changes or anything, you have a PDF evidence for the same. But sometimes the URLs or the websites for the security purposes does not allow the system to take that snapshot. Then you may get an error on the top saying that it was forbidden URL. So the system won't be able to take the snapshot. So still, if you want to have a snapshot, then you can manually use tools to take the snapshot, or take a PNG or whatever file that you get, and choose file and upload that file in case you want to have an exact snapshot or something, in case you find that error. Okay, so those
Sorry to interrupt again. We
sure.
just have one more colleague in the waiting room.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Actually, I'm not able to turn off that security feature, otherwise I would have. But yeah, it's enabling waiting room, so yeah. Okay. So that is what is for this source file. You can edit the description or anything if you want to edit from here. Okay, whatever you have uploaded, you can edit from here. You can change the name, etc., and then click on save. Or if you want to remove the file, you can do that. And there is another feature that is there with this file libraries, that I have uploaded this Google URL on some other page. Okay, but I want to use the same Google URL on all the sources going forward, because there are chances that you are looking through a sustainability report and it is same for all the sources. So in that particular case, you can go to this particular pop-up that is on attached document and just add to the question. So it would add also that particular file on this question as a source. So and then you can maybe go and edit the description you want to edit, and the name if you want to edit. So all those things is possible. So you don't have to upload the same document again and again in case you want to use the same thing for multiple metrics. Okay, any questions so far, like whatever I have gone through?
One quick question for you,
Sure,
Tam, and happy to touch on this later if I don't want to interrupt your flow.
no problem.
Is it possible to add resources that we may not necessarily be citing for any of the questions, but if let's say we want to compile a complete log of all the resources that we've looked at, is it possible to do that?
Yeah, so what we can do in that particular case is we can create a page on the top here, which can be an admin only page. Okay,
Okay.
another page, and that admin only page can have a similar source question. And on that particular page, you can just keep on uploading all those files. So it can be used there, but then the companies won't be able to see all those things. So that can be an admin only page, which only administrators or the team members from ICF can see those. So that is definitely possible to do. So
All
no
right. Thank
problem
you.
for that. Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So okay, so I'll just move ahead. So there is this explanation notes. There is analyst comments. There is evidence again. So based on if the source and evidence are different. Okay, then there is evidence analysis robustness. So here's uh, analysis robustness. So whether that's your basically feeling, whether you're strongly feeling that it's everything is fine. So I think that information, I think Graham and series team would be sharing with you. But yeah, to use this, and as you see, this is a gray area here and the background is gray. So this is basically a read-only area for the companies. So whenever the company users get into the system, they would only be able to see this information, but won't be able to edit anything around this. So they can see their assessment, they can see the source that you have attached, all those things they would be able to do. They would be able to see the analyst comments or explanation. Uh, uh, Etc., but not be able to modify anything. Okay, so it is purely from an administrator point of view, you will be able to change. Yeah, Graham, you have a question?
Just a super quick flag. Is it
Yeah,
possible to hide the analyst comments,
yes,
analysis robustness, and analyst complete from the companies?
yes, we can. So
Okay,
we will
great.
make
Thank you.
those analyst comments and analysis robustness as admin only question. So in that
Yeah,
case,
great.
uh, uh, they won't be able to even see those
Thank you. I
questions.
appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, Nora, even you have a question.
What would be the difference between the evidence and the source?
Uh, it depends. Like we thought like we normally when we do it for our other clients, there is a source and there is an evidence. There is a difference. So if there is no need for an evidence here, I think it's by mistake we have added this evidence here. It shouldn't be. Okay, so when there is a source, there is no need for an evidence. So we'll probably remove this when we go live. So along with the other changes, unless
Just
Graham needs that.
yeah, I mean, just a quick thought on that. Initially, when I looked at it, I was also wondering about the difference, but it occurred to me it could potentially be useful. And ICF team, feel free to jump in on this one if you like. But I was thinking to myself, it could be useful if, say, in the analyst comment, someone wants to say, for example, I wasn't sure if this other resource was relevant, but decided it wasn't, and that would be a place where they could, for example, add that additional resource that the sort of could be checked by the rest of the team for quality control purposes. So I think it could potentially have a use, and if people don't think it's useful, we can ignore it. But I think it's
Yeah.
useful to have it there at least.
Okay, so Graham, basically you want that evidence to still be there. If
Yes, please.
okay, okay, no problem. Sure. So that's not a problem. So if at all in future, if you think we want to remove it, we can remove it if nothing is
It,
added there.
just
Uh,
echoing
yeah,
Graham there,
sure.
it might be useful because you might have a link to a 200-page document as the source, but you might want to just do a page screenshot of an actual target or metric as the evidence, for clarity and ease and simplicity for the viewer and the reviewer.
Sure.
Yeah,
Great.
so essentially, sorry to jump in, this would also be an admin only box then, right? It's just between the analyst and the reviewer within ICF,
Yes,
maybe, for example. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
great. Okay, and like these are different fields. So the company comments would like it's for company as the name suggests, and if you want to like once the company's response, the analysts can again go into the system and provide their own comments before the final changes or so at the end of the cycle this would be coming. So it's a complete flow. So for each metric, this flow is being followed. So it's kind of a repeat for each of the metric. So once you select and respond to all the questions and comments and everything, okay, there is a save and continue. So button. So save, as the name suggests, it would like save and stay on the same page in case you want to keep on saving after making whatever number of changes. Okay, continuously. And save and continue would save the page and take you to the next page. Okay, so when you click on save and continue, if you have not completed all the mandatory metric or mandatory things to be answered, that is specifically this assessment area, then it would show you an error that this particular like I have not answered. If I remove this answer from here and I click on save and continue, then it would give you such an error, page is not completed, and it would show a red border here that this is not completed. So so these are the things that you can go and then complete and then move next. Or in case you do not have a response to this and you still want to move to another page, then you can directly click on next. Okay, but if I click on save and I just click on next, okay, then system would be asking you to, are you sure you want to leave the site? Okay, because you have not yet saved it. So there is no auto save functionality in the system. You have to make sure that you click on the save button before you move to the next page. Okay, so or like if you leave it, then you'll lose all the information that you have added. So just to be sure there. So I'll just click on save and then move to the next. So that is different thing, and there is a guidance on the top as well for you, like for the indicator level. Now there is uh, I think one more thing that is going to come. Okay, so once Graham and series team provides us with, there is something called as autofill comments or the pre-population of explanation. Okay, so it would normally work like when you click on yes, some already defined explanation, predefined explanation would be populated in the explanation notes here. Uh, okay, and if you click on no, there would be a different explanation. Okay, but if you click on yes and then click on no, it would ask you whether you want to replace a particular explanation that is already there, or you want to add the it would. But if you deselect both of them, the explanation would still stay as is. It would not remove it. So you have to make sure that if you do not select anything and you do not want those explanations, you have to manually work on it. That explanation is just for your assistance and to be consistent, so that everyone has a consistent explanation to start with, and then maybe you can add your own part. So it's not a read only. Once the explanation is added, you can add more words or whatever information you want to add to the explanation once that default explanation is added. So it's completely up to you how to use that particular thing. And yeah, from any page, you can click on this overview and it would take you to the list of indicators, and you can click on any indicator from any page and it would take you to that particular page. So there is no particular flow that you have to go through. It's completely depends on what information you already have and you want to fill, and you can continue doing that going forward. Okay, for all the metric and all the indicators. And lastly, when it comes to the online submissions, do not submit, go to like, do not go to the submission page and submit the responses or make the submissions, because like when you do the submissions, then the companies won't be able to log into the system and give their responses. So this submission is mainly for the company's users to kind of come in, provide their company comments, and then finally submit. Okay, so and that is because like when companies get into the system and submit, we get an email notification saying that the companies have submitted, so that we do not have to constantly keep on checking whether the companies have submitted or not. So at the end of the cycle, we would come to know how many companies have participated or uh, provided their comments, etc., based on the number of submissions that we have. Okay, and the same process you have to follow. So like as an administrator, you can again go back to like return to manager. Okay, click on participants, manage participants, and then go to some other company and complete the same cycle for another company as well. So you'll keep on repeating this process for multiple companies, and that would be the regular cycle. Now, when it comes to the progress, this is where the company's progress would be displayed. So this would be the progress percentage that would be displayed, because like currently we only have assessments as the mandatory questions. We are kind of ignoring all the non-mandatory questions for getting the progress here. Okay, so if all the assessments are completed or assessment metric are completed, then it would show it as 100% completed, even though analyst comments or evidence is missing at any point, because they are not mandatory when it's set in the system. Okay. Any questions so far? Or anything you want me to cover when it comes to the assessments or what ICF team is going to work on?
Nothing from my side.
No, nothing from me. It's been really clear so far. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so I'll move on now. The next part would be basically the administrative part of things where all the changes and everything, how you can make the changes or give access to the administrators and things. So here is the user management area. So under the user management area, there is administrators and there is logins. Okay. Now, administrators is basically for all the analysts that we add to the system and the team members from series. While logins are basically the ones the company users that register into the system. So in most of the case, we would not have to worry about the logins because they would be automatically added. But they like as an administrator, we would have to go to logins in case any users complain about their user being uh, uh, like uh, disabled or locked or something like that. Then we might have to go and enable them and all those user management stuff we might have to do that. Okay, so I'll first go to administrators. So once we go to administrators, sorry. Yeah, I'll just click on one of them. And here, if you see, there are list of these roles. Okay, so read-only managers can like when it is set, they would only be able to go to the participant survey and only view the survey. They won't be able to save anything or update anything like that. They would only able to go and see the responses for individual companies. Okay, response managers are the ones most of the ICF team would be given the response manager roles, and that is they won't be able to see all the data sets that we create or user management or anything like that. For you response managers, they would just be able to see the manage participant screen. They would log in as a particular company and do all the things that I've just demonstrated few minutes back. So all those things they would be able to do, but they won't be able to do any other things from an administrator point of view. Okay, template managers are the ones who have access to modifying the surveys, the structure of the survey or the text in the survey that we have used, the questionnaire as a whole. So they can go and change all those things. A survey manager is same, but they also would be able to go and modify the responses. Reporting manager are the ones who would only be able to access data sets and the final scorecard and all those areas. So those are reporting managers, and then finally the administrators, download managers. So system developers is just from our side. We have the system developers, but yeah, download managers, they would be able to download the survey and all those things. And one thing that I just yeah, sorry. Before I go to that, another very important feature here is the generate password. Okay, so here like you give the username, okay, and click on generate password. You it would not allow you to add the password. Give the email address, name, etc. Assign the roles and click on update. The user, whoever you have added, they would get an email on this particular email address with a temporary username and password. So they can then go and change the password from the main screen. So you have a once you get into as an administrator, you will get a change password link on the top and you will be able to go and change it. Okay, so that password can be changed from there for the administrators. So that is what is from the user management side. uh, Graham, any questions here for the user management?
Just a super small
Sure.
question here. Under username, this is a good example. We have series /a rows.
Yes.
Adam is actually at IGCC. Can I change that prefix as
Yes,
necessary?
yes, absolutely.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is only for the identification. So no problem
Okay,
with
great.
that also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's useful. But
Yes,
no,
yes.
otherwise that made a lot of sense at my side.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very clear.
Cool. And once like just to update you on the other thing is like when the companies log into the system, okay, they see the same interface except for few things that I just mentioned, that the gray area, they would be able to only read that area is read only for the company users, and the admin only area, which we will now mark, that would be as a red background in the red background. They won't be able to see those questions. Other than that, everything, each and every button or everything that that an administrator would see, the users or end users or company users would be seeing the same thing. Okay. Obviously, except for this administrator, sorry, the manager login here. Uh, so yeah, and the users can also be managed through here, but this is like for the company users, it is not for the administrators. So if a company user wants to add their own users, they can go to user management and click on add new user, and they can keep on adding the users for their own colleagues, etc. Okay. Uh, Now, another thing is manage participants. So manage participants here, we also have, like, we can also import participants here. So once we have the list of all the companies from Graham, we would use that import participant screen to kind of import all the companies into the system. So you will see all the companies when you actually go into assess the participants. So uh, we have that functionality. So we can have the region as NA100 and then download a file format. Uh, so once we get the company, so currently like we are not asking Graham to do that, but yeah, once we get it, we'll download the file format. We put all the company names and all the details that we get from Graham, and we upload it. So once it's uploaded, the manage participant screen would be able to see all the new companies that are added here. Okay. Am I missing anything?
Quick question for you, Gautam. Sorry, on the
Sure.
managed participants, just a logistical question. For when I send that to you, is there a so we'll be including the company names and all the associated metadata. Do you have specific column headings that you need so that this neatly matches up with your system? Is if I can help make it easier for
Uh,
you, that
okay.
side.
So in that case, what we can do is what we can do is we can share the download document that we get here.
That'd be
Okay.
great.
We'll share that CSV file, and maybe you can put in all the details in that file, and then we upload it.
Perfect. That sounds great.
So and that would have the heading as we want. So that should be okay with us then.
Great. Thank you.
So it would be something like this. So each row would be the company name. Okay. And this would be the region ID, or maybe you can just add the region name here. That's NA100. And you can just add this other information like country of headquarter and all those things that you have provided. We can add it here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah. And the things that you don't know, just mention that you don't know what to put in, and we'll definitely add that from our side in case that's not so clear for you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. So the next part I would like to cover in this it's data sets. Okay, so data sets, as mentioned, like you can create any number of different data sets here. So we have already created one just for the training purposes. So you can create new data set from here as well. So I'll just edit it and explain you what each of those fields in the data sets are for. I think there are few chats here if I have not. Okay, I think that was already answered. Sorry. Okay, so as the name suggests, this is a title, then there's include participants that match. So this is basically here we normally add the name of the survey. Okay, so include participants that match means whoever companies that have been part of this particular survey would be part of this data set. So basically, if there are 150 or 200 companies, then all the 200 companies would be part of this data set. Then there are multiple filters, like if you want to exclude test participants from the data set, if you want uh, the output based on the submitted date, on what date the users have submitted. So all those filters are there. There are some additional filters that you can add as well, but it's a bit programmatic. Uh, uh, there's an end statement and all those if statement and all those things that you have to mention here. So that will come. This is like for the first session, it would be a bit heavy there. And then you can click on update, or you can give a tag just to kind of as a folder name or something that explains what that particular data set is for. Okay, and then click on update. So that would basically create a new data set for you. Now, each data set basically can be downloaded into multiple formats. Okay, so it's a CSV XLS format. Now, what fields should be included in the data set? So currently, if you see, the data set has this fields here. Okay, so indicator, uh, assessment response, then what files have been added. Okay, so all those fields we have already added. So each uh, column would be a field in the data set. Okay, like field in the survey or metric in the survey. So evidence and whatever information that we put in would be displayed. So this is an HTML view, but there can be an XLS and a CSV view as well. So yeah, so each row would be a company and each column would be individual data points, that whatever fields that we add. Okay, so here, if you see, there is in middle, there is add survey response or scores. So here, if I select, say, NA 100, so the survey there, so you see the list of all the indicators that we have added. And then all these group types, they do not store any responses, right? So the responses are being stored in this radio assessment. Say if you want only like for the second indicator, if you like, if you're creating a data set which only has say analyst robustness. Okay, so what you can do here is you can go to each of this indicator and click on analyst robustness here, or maybe you can create, or so if you see, this is a CD type. Okay, so that CD type is a custom drop down. So if I click on this custom drop down, you see all the analyst robustness, and then select all the nodes. You would select all the nodes, and when I click on add selected responses, uh, all the fields were added successfully. Click on OK. So if I now go to this field details, okay, you will see at the bottom, you will see this all the analyst robustness responses that has been added. So a data set has been created for all the robustness fields. Okay, and you see here there is a company name which has a formula called as display name. This is an internal function which gives the company name. Uh, so similarly, you will see all the responses that has been added automatically. Now, what I need to do is I need to go and generate. So once I generate the data set, it would get all the latest information for that particular data set. So whenever you need the latest information in the data, you click on generate and you will always get a new information. So now when I go to view, okay, it would now have all the robustness information on the right hand side. So all this medium, weak, etc. on the top that you see, these are added recently from my updated thing. So there are these predefined buttons and things that you can use, or you can also use these multiple functions that we have. So if you want to have an if statement, if some response of a particular question is say yes, then I want that indicator to be marked as yes, etc. So you can have all those if statements here. So I'll just if yeah, so there is an if blank. If blank is mainly for like if something was not answered or it is blank, there is no response selected, then if you want to do something. So all those if statements, this is very similar to what Excel sheet has, but in a bit of a different format. So yeah, this is a brief about how the data sets are created in Probench, and you can create any number of such data sets. You can create one data set for only the assessment responses, the metric responses, one data set for all the explanations, maybe another data set for the robustness. So you can create any number of such different data sets. So there is no restriction on the number of data sets that you can create, and each can have their own purposes. So there's no problem with that. Any questions around here?
Quick question from my side, Gautam. Firstly, this is really, really helpful. Thank you. And not wanting to jump too much into the details, but just sort of to understand what's possible. Let's say, for example, from ICF side, they want a report that just shows the metrics that are assessed as either medium or weak confidence in the assessment result. I assume it would be possible to build in that sort of if statement into the results that is only showing those outcomes, right? And therefore excluding the ones that say strong confidence, things like that.
Metric at metric level, we want to be able to kind of do that. Okay.
Okay.
That you'll only have to basically kind of because the filters that we have added on the data sets are mainly from for the company filters. Okay.
Understood.
It is not
Yeah.
by metric filter. So that kind of information will have to be removed, or maybe what you can do is you can use if statements for each of those robustness indicators, and maybe mark it with something that you can filter out at a later stage. But yeah, that kind of filter you'll have to do when it's exported to Excel, but directly we won't be able to get it into the data set. Yeah.
That's helpful. No worries. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions, anyone? Okay. There was a question from you, Graham, like whether the predefined explanations can be different for a yes option and for a no option. So the answer is yes, you can have it different. Okay, so for each of them, you can have different explanations based on, so that's completely doable.
Great.
That's
Thank
not
you.
an issue. Yeah. Okay. Next is like managing the survey, or if you want to make any changes to the template. So there is under survey, there is manage templates. Okay. And in the templates, you can see uh, this NA 100 2024. So what you can you would be seeing this copies made, right? So this is mainly like we create backups before making any major changes, right? So even when you are making any changes and you want to create a backup, what you can do is you can create a copy. Okay, make a copy of this template. So it would be stored like this. So I'll just click on this. So a new file copy has been added. Okay, or this one, I think this is the new copy. And now you know that there is a backup already available. Now you can go and freely make whatever changes that you want to make for this particular template that is actually live. Okay, so you'll see that this is attached to a survey. So when I click on edit, okay, it would take me to this particular page where all the metrics are set, and it's like completely uh, tree-like structure, basically. So parent would be having children, and when I click on this arrow, so it opens all the children's under it. Okay, so it's completely a tree-like structure. So under this 2.1a, there is this assessment, there is yes and no. Okay, let me quickly open this one. Okay. Uh, Fine. So you asked one of the questions when you want to change the explanation comments that the auto comments that we are adding. Okay. So what we can do there is, I think this is. Yeah, so in that case, what will happen is like when we actually set it up, this yes option would be having a couple of nodes under it. Okay, and those nodes would be kind of basically the auto comments that you have provided. Okay, you can go to each of these nodes and make the necessary changes, and that's it. Like for making any text changes, you can directly go to this particular text, make a text change, and that's it. Now after making any text changes or any changes, what you need to do is when you go to the survey front end. Okay, so let me like go to one of the front ends. I go to this test company and then 2024. So whenever I go to this front end, okay, if you have made changes to only one page, single page, then what you can do is under manager, you will see a rebuild page. Okay. So unless you rebuild the page, okay, the new changes that you have made to the template won't be visible to either companies or assessors or the analyst or whatever. Okay. Only after you rebuild page, they would be able to see the new text changes that you have made. Okay, so if you have made changes to multiple pages, okay, then you need to do a rebuild all page. That way it would rebuild all the pages and the latest version would be displayed to the user. Okay, so unless that is done, the latest version won't be visible to the user or analyst after you making any changes there. Okay, so that is there. And also like once the survey is live, and analysts have started creating or like collecting information, assessing the companies. And after that, if you make any changes to the explanation or the predefined explanation, okay, those changes won't be like won't change the things that are already saved. Okay, it would only be applied for someone who is kind of selecting that particular option after you have rebuilt the page. Okay, so it would not change anything retrospectively. So that we have to be sure of whenever we make that change. Okay, so yeah, that's brief about what and how you can make the changes to the survey here. Sorry. Yeah, and these are the question types here. So in future, if you want to change text to, maybe if you want to have a word limit, that you can change it to text 250, text 150 words, like characters, sorry. And there are like 5 words, 25 words, etc. as well. So these are the different number of question types that we have that we can use. So here are based on characters and these are based on words. So all those changes you can definitely do from your side.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gautam. So I have a few specific questions, but I don't want to A, interrupt your flow, and B, I want to make sure everyone else both has time to ask questions they want, and I don't want to make them have to sit through my technical questions. So just want to flag I have a couple of questions about this, but I can ask these right at the end if that's helpful. If there's anything
Sure.
else you want to touch upon.
No, I think I have touched upon mostly like the things that you would use for now. Okay.
Okay.
If there are any advanced requirements, then we can have another session, because if I take everything in one go, it would be probably overwhelming for you all as well. So yeah, I think I'll stop here, and it's better we answer all the questions so that there is no doubts on how to use the platform and how to do the assessments to start with.
Fantastic. That's really great. Thank you so much, Gautam. Yeah, before I jump into anything technical, I just want to ask if anyone else has any questions that they want to jump in with at this point. No, not seeing anything. Okay. So I have a few questions. Again, I just want to stress to everyone else from IGCC, ICF, feel free to drop off if you wish. These are just sort of detailed questions that sort of came up through the survey checking process. So welcome to hang around or save yourself a few minutes. But I'll jump into those now. So quick question for you, Gautam. If you're able to jump back to the survey, first question is let me just navigate back to the manager page on my screen, return to manager. There is the survey manage templates and the manage surveys.
Yeah.
What's if we're making changes to, for example, the assessment criteria, where do we make this?
Okay, so if you want to make changes to the questionnaire, okay, or any text of the metric or anything like that, you have to go to manage templates. Okay, and manage templates, you can go to this NA 2024, okay, which is live, and you can click on edit as I mentioned, and you can go through that particular indicator. So you will see there's indicator text numbers, all those things, and you can go and make the changes at that particular place. And once you make these changes, you have to go and rebuild page on the front end side. So that would basically show the changes there.
Great. And so when I hit the rebuild all on the front end, that makes the changes for all the surveys, all the company surveys?
Yes, all the
Brilliant.
companies. So it would be
awesome.
like, for all the companies. So it's not company specific when it comes to that rebuild all page.
That's great. One question linked to this. Would you mind clicking on survey and then manage surveys?
Yeah, sure.
So we were trying to, yesterday, Ben and I were trying to change one small typo in one of the text fields. So if you go to edit that one, we made the change in here first off, which I realized based on what you've just said is not correct. So if you scroll down, you'll see a little red circle there under just above 4.1.
Right.
And it meant it. So what does that mean? What did we
Okay,
do wrong there?
so basically this area is mainly for text variations. Okay, so if basically we mainly use it for the language changes. So if you have the same survey in both English and some other language, both of them, maybe say Spanish or something, or French, then the language specific things can be modified here, but main template would still remain the same. Okay, so if and also there is a second use case of this is uh, there is one template, okay, and you want to use the same template in multiple years, okay, but both the years have different text for some of the questions. Okay, in that case you can go and make the changes. So saying that, like, whatever changes you have made here, if it was not visible on the front end, the only reason would be like you have not done that rebuild all page. Okay,
noted.
otherwise whatever
makes sense.
changes that you do here would definitely be visible there, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, that's great to know. So basically, for our current purposes, for this first cycle at least, we probably don't need to go into this section at all. We'll just be using the survey template.
Right, exactly. So there is this, so if I just can explain you the relationship, it's like one template that can be used for multiple years survey. Okay, so if the template or the questionnaire does not change every year, but you want to collect data, different data every year, in that case the template would remain same, but the survey would be different. Like this is 2024, next year it would be 2025, etc. But the template or the questionnaire would still remain the same. So that's the whole purpose of the differentiation or the relationship.
So in terms of the relationship, it would be you have the primary managed templates, then you've got the surveys that stem from that. You can have one or multiple on the front end that we are seeing links to that survey. So it goes template, survey, front end.
Yes. So if you see, this survey has this template field. So here we have selected which template you want to use. So if we create 2025 and if I select template as 2024, I would still get the same questionnaire for the 2025. So it's kind of one-to-many kind of a relationship there.
Okay, that's great. Another quick question, just from my own understanding, I've got a few questions. From my own understanding, I know that obviously there's somewhere within the system to indicate which fields are visible to the logins versus the administrators. I think there's the little padlock under the templates, right? Is that the field that determines that?
Yes. So I'll just take you to that. Okay, so as you saw, there were two types of things. One is read only and one is admin only, right? So we configure a particular section as read only by having this condition. Okay, so this is a condition, and this is like if it is not a manager, then everything under it should be read only. So we have
Okay.
given it as read only type. Okay,
Okay, that
so
makes sense.
everything under this question mark, all the child questions would be read only. Now it comes to admin only. So admin only is this lock here. Okay, so if this analysis robustness have to be kind of an admin only, I'll click on this. So this would turn admin only. If I do this, also if you want analyst comments as read only, so this has turned into read only. Now this read only can be done at any level. If you can do it on assessment level, page level, wherever you want to do, everything under that particular question would be admin only. Okay, so now let me go to this 2.1a. So now I have changed it to read only. So I'll just rebuild the page. So if you see this analyst comment evidence and analyst robustness, they are all now read only.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry,
that makes
admin
sense.
only. So
Yeah,
the
understood.
companies won't be able to see it.
Okay, that's super helpful. So yeah, because when I was looking at the sort of the if you pop back to the previous tab you were just on,
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, when I was looking at this initially, I was curious why there's a not is manager but not a regular is manager, but I guess the default is by default managers can see everything and you only
Yes.
define the specific criteria for the non-manager roles.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, that's super helpful. A few last questions. Sorry, do you have 2 more minutes? I realize we're
No,
at time.
absolutely no problem. I'm there.
Okay,
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that. So I notice in the front end side right now, it's possible to flag at an indicator level. Is
Yes.
it possible to incorporate the flag at, say, a metric level, or is that not feasible?
It is
Not a big deal,
possible.
but
No, it should be possible. So I'll just check with the team why it's not enabled here. So
okay.
I'll get back to you. But yeah, I think at the indicator, so at least at the metric level, you should be able to do it, right?
Okay.
So I think that's possible, but I'll check with the team why it's not enabled here
Okay.
for NA100. But yeah, it's possible.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. That
Yeah.
I imagine that would be useful for the ICF team to be able to sort of
Yes, yes,
flag specific
absolutely.
metrics.
We'll do
Awesome.
that.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Couple of other just sort of fairly minor, but just out of curiosity questions. I know, first of all, if you click on guidance, or actually, sorry, assessment criteria, for instance, right there, and you'll see that, for example, direct operations or local communities, or whatever, they're underlined to indicate it's a definition, which is super, super helpful. And when you hover over it, it pulls up a definition. Just not a big deal, but just out of interest. So it seems to suggest you're able to click on it, but when you click on it, obviously it doesn't go anywhere because it's not hyperlinked. Is there any way to remove the indication that you're able to click on it so it doesn't like look like a click on button, it just hovers? Not a problem if not. I'm just curious.
Okay, maybe I'll have to check with the team, but probably like how you want this, because it is an uh, it is added as a vocab kind of a thing, like
Got you.
so it's basically displayed. So would it be okay if you see an eye icon against this here, a small one? If
Um,
they hover on that eye icon, they would be able to see it. Or you want to completely remove it? So if we completely remove it, then it would be removed from everywhere. So it's like
let's just keep it as it is then. As it is fine.
okay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you flagging the
So
two options there.
are you worried about this
No,
hand cursor that you is what you are
yeah,
worried about? Is it?
it's just from our side, it's clear to us that like we just hover over it and it's not actually linking through to
Got
anything.
it.
I just wondered if we might start to get questions from when companies log in, if they might be like, "Hey, this seems to link, but it's not actually clicking through to
Okay.
anything. What
Okay.
should we
Got it.
click?" But
So
it's
is it
not a
okay if we
problem at
change the
all.
cursor to maybe a pointer or something?
Yeah, if you're able to change the cursor just to keep it a regular arrow, that
Yes.
would be super helpful.
All right.
Again,
We can do that. We can do that.
not a huge deal, but if possible, that would be super
We
helpful.
we can do that. We can do that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. And this other point is just again, super, super minor, not a problem if it's not feasible. So for dependent metrics, if we look at, for example, if we go to the first indicator, um, see, yes, we go to the first indicator. And so if we select no, as we have done for 1.1a, then if we scroll down to 1.1b, that should only display a no option, which is correct. Yeah, which is great. So that basically has ruled out the yes option because it's a dependent question. Just out of interest, again, not a big deal, but is it possible to have it automatically pre-select the answer to that just to save those extra few seconds of someone
Yes,
clicking on
that is
that?
definitely possible to do. Yeah, we can do
That
that.
would be great, yeah, because basically for all these dependent metrics, it just the default answer
So
is no for this
when you
such a
want
reason.
it pre-select, does that mean that you also want the analyst to not change it basically at all? A kind of a read only even for the analyst so that they cannot remove that selection?
I think it's okay for them to have the option to remove it if they want to. I mean,
Okay,
logically, there would be no situation in which that would be required, I think. But
got it.
just to save that the few seconds of just sort of like,
Got
I
it.
know it's
Because
very minor.
we have two types of conditions. So one is like a
Okay,
choose condition, which can make it read only, and another is a pre-select condition. So which can also allow the analyst to modify in case they want to modify that. So I'm just asking from that
okay,
standpoint.
understood.
So
In
yeah,
that case, let's go for the choose one. I assume that's the one where it would automatically select no,
yes,
and then that would be a read-only field, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, let's go for that.
Okay.
Would that still allow the analyst to enter an explanation?
Yeah, explanation is absolutely okay. So we'll
Okay,
only
great.
that condition would only kind of impact this one. So it
That's
would not
perfect.
impact any other fields. Yeah.
That would be super helpful. Thank you. That's great. Let me see. Anything else from my side? Resource library, pre-population. No, I think that's everything. But no, it's looking great. Thank you so much for your work pulling this together so
Great.
fast. It's
Just
fantastic.
one question from my side.
Yeah.
Like currently this analyst comments and company comments are basically, sorry, the company comment is set as a conversation type. So if you see the conversation types are being
Mm,
displayed like this. So
mm.
there will be a conversation between an analyst and a company. Okay, so do you want it as a conversation type or a regular text field like the analyst comments here?
Um, that's the company comment. So when the analyst submits a comment, how does that display its? How
So
does
it
that
would display
display?
like it is displaying
Just
currently.
like that.
So just like that.
I think the conversation is probably the best option there. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
great. Thank you.
Fine, no problem. Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. Yeah, again, so that's everything from my side. I just want to pause and see if anyone else has any particular questions. I know, Ben, you were helping me to look through this yesterday. I don't know if did I touch upon all of your questions?
Yeah, you did. I haven't come across anything else as of yet.
Okay.
But yeah, this
Okay.
was super helpful. Thank you.
Okay, Graham, just one more question while we are
Yeah.
talking about that conversation type. So do you also like want this analyst comment to be conversation? Like from a use case standpoint, one use case that I can see is like if the analysts have added one comment at particular date and then maybe missed out on a comment and they want to add another comment, then it would be recorded as different dates for the comment. So in case
Yeah.
you want to have it just while I was seeing just I just
Yeah.
got a thought.
I mean, so from my side, that might make sense actually. If Kelly, if you're still on the line, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this from the ICF side, but from my side, it might be useful to have. I think it might be useful to have that time-stamped conversation. If you're around, Kelly, feel free to chime in with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think, yeah, definitely helpful to sort of like keep track of when things are being added. So yeah, I think that's really helpful if that's possible.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'll make those like I'll ask the team to make those changes there.
Great. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Good question,
Thanks.
Gautam.
Cool.
Right. Yeah, that's everything from my side. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
this. This
great.
is really great. And the last point is so today from my side, I will send you across the company information in addition to we're just working on the pre-population values
Sure.
just now.
And I think with all the changes and everything, and with the new pre-population comments, I think we should be ready by Tuesday.
Great.
Work
Fantastic.
complete, and then maybe based on your go. And I think we'll also need the list of all the companies. So I'll send
Yeah,
you across that format. So you can just add to the format and then we can just import it. So all the companies would be added automatically with that
that'd be
import.
great. Fantastic. Thank you
and
so
yeah,
much.
then we should be ready to go live.
Great. Really appreciate your
Perfect.
help. Thanks so much.
No
And
problem.
thank you, Sahaj, as
Thanks,
well, for all your hard work on this.
Wonderful stuff. Yep. Helpful and relaxing and informative.
Thanks, Adam.
Good luck. Thanks for the question, Graham, as well.
No worries. No, thank you all. And yeah, we'll be in touch via email, Gautam, as well. So
Sure,
thanks for your
absolutely.
time.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks all.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.